Hola, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker here. And today I want to have kind of a look at, this is I guess not going to be a 100% full review. The other day I did a unboxing, which I normally don't do a lot of unboxings, but this one was so fantastic. I was waiting for this knife, and I have a second one on the way too that I'm totally waiting for, and I probably will do those two unboxings because I think they're both spectacular knives, and there's something that I normally wouldn't have purchased, especially now being off work. I actually had a knife that I had scrimped and saved and to purchase that needed some warranty, and it was going to take forever. And Spyderco stepped up and said, look, we'll give you a credit for this amount. And Sal himself got involved, and I managed to get one of these and another knife that's on the way that should be here in probably a couple of weeks. This is the Flash Batch, the Michael Birch designed Bombshell, and holy cow, I am really liking this knife. I suppose I don't know if I have 100% knife that, or design, specific design that I love. I mean, I'm pretty varied in my taste, but the one thing though, this is the second Michael Birch design that I have. The other one I have here is the Chubby, and the one thing I can say about this knife and the Chubby is they fill your hand, and they've got great ergonomics. Now, this isn't, I've got big hands, and this knife kind of disappears within my hand, but holy cow, it disappears so comfortably. So, all right, let's kind of go over some of the stuff here. This is how it arrived in the Spyderco. There was no Spyderco box. It is a really nice soft foam padded golden Spyderco, as in the golden Spyderco here, not the golden Spyderco Colorado bag. So there is no box with this. Now, the other thing that it actually came with is just this little tag here, and I'm not sure if you can see here, but it says 0873. This is a Flash Batch, and you'll have to please forgive my pronunciation. I chipped my front tooth, and I'm having a hard time saying F words, F sounds. I seem like I lisp a little bit, so hence we're having the Talking Hands video. I want to kind of get away more. I want to get more into the kind of different places. I want to set myself up a little studio, but hey, until I get this tooth repaired, I'm going to do the old Talking Hands video for a little while. Okay, so this is not going to be a 100% review because I got this knife last weekend on Thursday, so I've actually had it for less than a week, and I've just been carrying it non-stop. And I just kind of want to give you guys my first initial impressions, and I really love this knife. This knife is incredibly smooth. So now, yes, so going back, okay, so the Flash Batch is that there's only 1,250 of them made, and after they are sold out, they are gone forever. They are going to destroy the tooling, so they will never make this Bombshell knife again with the olive drab green, this blade shape, and this blade material. They'll never do this again. So 1,250 in the entire world, and I've got number 873, and I am so extremely happy with this knife. All right, so let's get some of this out of the way. Let's kind of go over the knife. Okay, so let's compare it here. So that gives you a little bit of the size comparison. Not a big knife. Overall length of 7 inches long. Now, it doesn't come with this lanyard. I just happen to really like lanyards, especially leather lanyards on my knives. And it took me forever to find. And I actually ended up a fellow YouTuber by the name of Randy Johnson. Look him up. Fantastic YouTuber, been going for a long time. He's been having sporadic videos lately, and I'm hoping that he'll come back. He's one of the guys who kind of got me into knife collecting from watching his videos, and sharpening for sure. He's got a spectacular 4-part sharpening series on hand sharpening, and that is pretty much how I learned to sharpen, from watching his videos. Also, he showed me how to tie this lanyard here too as well in one of his videos, and just from basically using a leather shoelace. So that's just kind of a little bit of information, and it took me forever to find a leather shoelace. Found them in bootlaces is what I was looking for, and I finally found some at Mark's Work Warehouse here in Canada. I looked at like 4 different Walmarts and could not find one because they usually carry the leather shoelaces, but from now on I think I will grab a pair of them from Mark's Work Warehouse. But anyways, this knife is 7 inches long, and here is a Spidey Chef just to show you some comparison. You know, Spidey Chef's got a little bit bigger blade, and then of course we've got something here a little bit smaller, which is the Dragonfly 2. And so that just gives you an idea. Not a big monster knife, but really, really fits my hand really well, especially for having such a big hand like I do. I really, really enjoy putting this knife in my hand because it really fits my hand really, really well. Even though my pinky finger is right at the very end, it's not coming off or anything like that, and it just seems like Michael Birch is a genius when it comes to that kind of stuff, because we've actually got the Michael Birch Chubby, which is kind of a 3-handed knife, but it's a really comfortable 3-handed knife. Now, the Michael Birch Chubby here is 5.96, so it's an inch shorter than the Bombshell, but I don't know. The guy just seems to be a genius when it comes to the ergonomics, because both of these knives are something that fit in your hand really, really well. And I think ergonomics aren't just important for cutting tasks. I think it also endears you to a knife. Like, I mean, if you pick up a knife, you put it in your hand, and it fits your hand like it was meant to be there, you're going to like that knife, I think, a whole lot more. I know that there's other things that go into, you know, what we like, whether, you know, visually, you know, maybe something makes a certain sound, or even, you know, the color of the G10 or the titanium. But for me, a big part of that is how it feels. And this Michael Birch has got genius level ergonomic, I think, chutzpah. All right, so smooth G10. Really a big fan of that. It's got like a grain structure built into it, and it's an olive drab, and a lot of people have got, you know, some names. They call it, you know, the danger pickle, the killer pickle, you know, the bombshell, the dodo bird. This knife has got a lot of names to it, and it is kind of a polarizing look for sure, based upon the color and you know, the stonewash finish. But the biggest deciding factor is if you happen to have this knife and you put it in your hand, how well it goes and it melts into your hand. Michael Birch is a genius when it comes to, like, especially most of his knives are kind of a thick, and this is like a radius G10 too as well. And that's the one thing I did want to look at. Now, they talk about the clip on here. They are slightly different. I thought perhaps they were going to use the same clip. They are the same clip design, but they are not the same clip. So that answers one of my questions. All right, so let's kind of go over this here a little bit more. Like I said, she's 7 inches long. The blade length is 2.98 inches with a cutting length of 2.75, so 2 3/4 inches of a cutting length. The steel is a CPM 20 CV, which is a, you know, a particle. It's a powdered steel. They take the steel in its molten form, all the components of the steel, they put it in a molten form, and they spray it into like kind of a cool room, and so it almost creates like a powder, like a little nodules of powdered steel, and then they remix it and heat it up. And so that's why you've got that's why the powdered steel is such good steel, because all your carbon, your cutting particles in there are really evenly spaced throughout the entire steel. So some of the steel that's not powdered steel, you can develop edges where your cutting carbides are concentrated in an area, not throughout the entire steel. So that's why I think that the powder metal is such a great steel. There, hopefully you'll learn something there a little bit. So like I said, she's got this smooth radius G10 with a titanium liners here too as well. So it is a liner lock, and they are milled out. This is a really light knife at 4.5 ounces. The Chubby is a smaller knife, and it's, you know, 4.1 ounces. So not to, I think with the G10, rather than having the solid titanium liners, gets you some savings in weight. Now, the other really, really nice thing that you can't see, but you can feel, is the fact that this is a hollow grind blade. And it is extremely thin behind the edges. Now, I haven't done any really heavy cutting with this knife yet. I mean, cardboard seems to be the thing that I cut down the most with my job. I was, breaking down so much cardboard, and, with the chubby, it was 4.5 mil thick stock, and it was, but the hollow ground blade made this. I'm not going to say it was a light saber slicer, but it was nice to go through cardboard box. And this is a thick piece of 20 CV2 as well. It is 4 millimeters thick, but with a high hollow ground, it is going to be a way better slicer than a 4 mil pry bar type of steel normally is. Now, there is only right hand tip up carry, that's it. There's no left hand or tip down carry, which is totally fine with me, because that's exactly the way that I like to carry, is right hand tip up. Now, the other thing too as well, now your CPM 20 CV has got a heavy stonewash finish here too as well. And now you're riding on phosphor bearings, and it makes Spyderco is, they're designing philosophy with the not the bearings but the washers. It seems like they've got fantastic design, because anytime that I have had a washer type knife, it has been extremely smooth. I know that you've got bearings out there, and that's kind of supposed to be the smooth way to go, but it just seems like my bearing knives seem to click a little bit when I open them, and you can almost, sometimes you can feel it, especially in my smock. But with this one, it is so extremely smooth and so hydraulic too as well. That's, I guess, the feeling. It's hydraulic, and I mean, it is drop shut if you can get the liner lock out of the way, and it's such kind of heavy blade that it does fall shut, not completely falling shut, but I imagine it'll get quite a bit better once it gets more broken in. And that's the other thing that I suppose the only thing that really I'm not going to say drives me crazy, but I do hear it, especially when the knife was right out of the bag, is the drag that was on the little ceramic detent ball on this stonewash finish. It just seems like it has a raspy sound to it, and that's going to continue on until the knife breaks in. So I have been opening and closing this knife like crazy the last 4 days, and it has gone down quite a bit. Like I'm going to see if I can open this up a little bit, and I'm going to put it up to my microphone. I'll see if you can hear it. Can you hear that? That's the only part that really drives me crazy about this knife. Now, I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to let that detent ball do its job, and it's going to wear a little path through this stonewash finish. And I don't think, Spyderco usually puts a covering when they stonewash, so where the bearings, I keep saying bearings, where the washers sit, it seems like it's polished. They just don't seem to polish that detent path. And hey, you know what? That's just something that will, over time, will break in. Now, once that is broken in, I'm going to probably use a tiny bit of grease on there. I have this lithium grease, this True Glide, and I think that that's going to be the bomb, and it's going to be completely gone. So, all right. So that is just my kind of initial impressions on this wonderful piece of engineering from Spyderco. I'm going to be doing a long-term review on this in a little bit, because I'm going to carry this exclusively until I think my other one shows up here at the end of the month, and then I'll be doing some switch, but then I'll give it an actual full review and let you know what I think, what it's like to live with this knife day to day. Now the other one that's coming, I don't know if I want to say anything or not, but I just happened to luck out that Sal got involved, and I was able to have kind of a 2-for-1. I gotta say, Spyderco really stepped up to the plate here, and because right now my budget is not there for purchasing any of these expensive knives. I gotta wait till I get back my life, and then I'll be looking at it. But for now, I've just lucked out. I've been able to get 2 really coveted knives under warranty, and I just appreciate Spyderco so much. They just stepped up to the plate, and thank you so much for that, Sal. Now, thanks for stopping by. Please give me the thumbs up and subscribe if you like what you saw. Please help me share my voice. Now, there's still a lot going on out there, so please stay safe. Listen to the experts with the COVID-19. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.